I want to make a documentary. I want to be in movies.
Yeah.
Everything. I see a big vision for myself, and I definitely want to produce music for TV shows, kids TV
Uh-huh.
shows. I want to be involved in a lot of different projects that impact the next generation. Like I hear my verse, I never heard my voice before, like how other people hear it. So I was like, "Yo, I got a distinct voice. Like this shit is dope." Like,
Can you tell me what was going through your mind when you were making the album, when you titled it Cold Feelings, that sort of thing?
yeah, man. Definitely. The inspiration behind that album is really just kind of like the past 2 years of just navigating through the music industry and just like being myself and trying to stay as genuine and pure as possible. This is my second take, and I chose to collaborate more because I want to show people that we can work together and be artists and just make good music.
Hey guys, welcome to the Fergie Time podcast. And today we have on singer, songwriter, rapper, producer Apollo Jetson to talk about his new album, Cold Feelings. How you doing, Apollo?
Good. How are you, Aiden? What's going on?
Good. So let's just start off from the beginning. When did you first start making music?
Um, my first experience was with music, uh, probably as a baby. Just growing up having a piano and in my family's house, just playing it. I got pictures of me playing it. Um, but my first memory of music would probably have to be, um, I'd probably have to say my dad, because he was a producer uh,
Uh-huh.
and a songwriter too as well. Um, and just growing up around him, he had a studio in Vallejo, California.
Okay.
He used to produce for like Baby Bash, E40,
Mm-hmm.
Mac Ray, just a lot of people. He even produced a song for Michael Jackson that never been
That's
released.
dope.
Um, and so he always had a studio. So and my mom used to work for a record company that did a lot of people's albums and stuff. I think she had something to do with Tony Tone's album or something, and
Okay.
and Confunction and stuff, just like that 80s like wave of artists. So I've always been around music, and when I got old enough, probably about 5 years old, maybe 5 or 7, in between there, my dad bought me this keyboard from Best Buy,
Mm-hmm.
and teach you how to it like the notes light up on it to teach you how to play like classical songs and shit. So I learned how to play like Fur Elise and like
Okay.
songs and shit. And I would listen to like the radio, and this was like 2006 or whatever. Like 50 Cent was hot, and I
Yeah.
remember like just listening to the beat and memorizing the song like dun, dun's how we do, and just playing that. So that was
Mm-hmm.
like my first introduction, and my dad saw that, and as I got older, like he saw that. He taught me how to like do my first scale in piano, like which was C minor, and like just run through that. And that's the only thing I learned musically, like piano
Uh-huh.
wise. I had a piano teacher and shit, but we never. She moved to Russia like while we were getting like right when we were getting into the main, digging into each like the lessons and shit. So
Yeah.
I never really got to hone in that aspect. So, but my dad, he saw my potential with piano, and he just put me in front of a beat machine, and I made my first beat in fourth grade with my
Oh,
dad,
wow.
and we made a beat CD with about like 3 or 4 beats on it. And I remember my sister's boyfriend at the time, he was rapping back then, and I used to listen to his music because I used to ride around with him. Like I used to be my sister's little brother, so
Yeah, yeah.
and I remember giving him that CD, my first beat tape and shit. Like here, rap on these beats, play them and shit. But so I've been making music a long time. And I started writing raps when I was like about 10. We listened to like fucking me and my boy Larry. We used to listen to like Hustler, like hella Richmond shit, and
Mm-hmm.
fucking just like recite the same rap, but just switch up the words and shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so
So,
I got. Mhm.
so you're talking about your dad as an influence there. So would you say that like him being around music so much kind of started your love for it in that way?
Um, I would have I couldn't say no to that, but I definitely went on it on my I did it on my own. Like I
Uh-huh.
definitely just kind of fell in love with it naturally. Like he definitely didn't force anything.
Yeah.
I just really just always been around it and shit, and it kind of just like it wasn't something I had to think about. Like I just really wanted to learn how to play the piano and shit, and just be involved with music.
And with him being in and around hip hop, was that like you? Because you also talked about playing piano and learning more classical pieces too. Was your main like interest hip hop, or were you interested in like an array of music?
I was interested in everything. I wanted to learn how to play everything. I still want to learn how to play everything.
Uh-huh.
But I would definitely say I was doing more classical shit before I was even like into hip hop, like fucking around with that shit. But they all happened at the same time, really. So
Uh-huh.
kind of just learning the piano first was my thing.
How far did you go into piano? Like how many years did you learn piano for?
Um, that's a good question. I'm mostly like self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always just kind of put shit together. But recently, like on and off again, I've been taking lessons and stuff. Like not even just recently, but like even before that, I was always kind of doing it. And but now I'm about to start taking lessons again and just getting more information and shit.
Okay, cool. And then the next thing would be, when did you kind of make your first serious track or song? Because you talked about when you were younger, kind of messing around with music and producing beats with your dad and whatever. But
Hmm.
when did you think you start to kind of take it a little more seriously and be like, hey, I'm gonna put this out there as a serious track?
Um, Probably um one of my first serious tracks that I produced, all like made the beat and everything, will probably be my song "Skate Man Steez" with Shmop Life Dookie. That was like one of the first ones that we did a that was my first music video. Like we did a serious kind of rollout with that, and then
Okay.
that was in 2015.
Okay.
Uh, it's still on YouTube and shit for those that want to watch that. Uh,
Yeah. And then you're a skater, right? That's what I
yeah,
learned from your Instagram page. So how do you think skate culture influenced? Because I heard a story that you actually met Pimp Toby at the Berkeley skate park down by the Blue Barn, right?
yeah, yes sir.
Yeah, I practiced soccer down there, so I kind of know
Oh,
that
work.
area really well. And so, how did skate culture influence your music?
A lot. I mean, I still be rapping on my skate shit type shit, you know. But
Hmm.
I've been skateboarding since 2007. So for like almost 12 years. Pimp Toby was
Hmm.
actually the first person I met at the skate park, and we were like, he was like fucking 8, and he had a
Uh-huh.
white Spitfire helmet. You know what I'm saying? The first kid I fucking one of my actual first friends at the skate.
Uh-huh.
We would air out the bowl and just chop it up and shit. And then eventually when we got older, we started going to each other's houses and meeting each other's moms and shit and
Uh-huh.
skate parties and whatever little skate park adventures and shit.
Hmm.
Um, but skate culture is definitely influenced. That's even how I kind of got into rapping. Like me and my friend Augustus, who we went to Albany Middle School at the time.
Uh-huh.
We were just like little bad kids, and we both started skating at the same time. And after we would skate like San Pablo,
Yeah.
at Mechanics Bank and shit in Albany.
Uh-huh.
His friend lived like 2 blocks away, so like I remember Augustus was rapping before me, and he was like
Okay.
recording songs and shit. And I used to just play with it, like I was saying, but I never recorded a song. And after we skated Mechanic Banks one day, we went to Nick's house, Nick Kugler. I mean, not Nick Kugler, sorry, Nick's house. Another Nick, I
Uh-huh.
can't think of his last name right now. Um, but we went to his house, and he had like a studio like with a rock band mic and garage band, like, cause he had an iMac and shit,
Okay.
came with all that shit. And Augustus was like, "Yo, we finna go to Nick's house and I'm finna record a song and shit. Just come through." So I came with him, and we met him up, and we he was recording a song called Hoeing. It's
Hmm.
called Hoeing. Like I don't know, he was rap shit. He told me like he was like, "Yo, I just freestyled this whole thing. Get on this shit, freestyle this shit." And I just literally I fucking freestyled And that song was so fucking like I thought it was so dope. You feel me? But I was like saying the same shit over and over. Like
Yeah.
yeah, Owen, Owen, like just fucking saying the same.
Yeah.
But I heard my voice, and I fell in love with that shit. Like I always like growing up, just being a skater and shit. Like all my big homies used to make fun of me because I was like I had a high pitched voice and shit. Like when
Yeah.
I first started recording like 12, 13, but my
Yeah.
voice was still high. And like cause all the bigger homies like skaters and shit, they were like my OGs and shit would be like make fun of my voice and shit. So I
Yeah.
never liked my voice. And as soon as I heard it, I'm like, yo, like I hear my verse. I never heard my voice before, like how
Mhm.
other people hear it. So I was like, yo, I got a distinct voice. Like this shit is dope. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm on a track and shit. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
so I just ever since that day, I remember I kid you not, like 2 days later we did another freestyle and just put out music and shit. And it I don't even. It probably only had like 100 views on it or some shit, and fucking like, but everybody at the school fucked with it because we was going like we was going to school at where was it? We was at Albany High
Uh-huh.
and just our friends and shit like or whatever was fucking with it. So then I just kept making music and but yeah, that's uh
Yeah, I think the thing that's interesting about that is like when you first start making it, obviously you don't know your potential, so you first hear it and you're like, "Oh, that's sick." And then when your friends start to get around you and like support you, I think it kind of pushes you forward, and that's what you're talking about there with other friends having the same interest and saying, "Hey, that's dope, like keep it up," that sort of thing. Is that what you're talking about there?
yeah definitely. I don't know. I don't even think I got that much from my support from my friends at first,
Mhm.
but they never knocked it and shit. You feel me? Like nobody ever told me I was weak, and I was weak. You feel me? But I thought it was
Uh-huh.
dope. So like I think that kind of just sold it for people too, because I didn't have any. There was no judgment behind it. Like I kind of was just doing my thing. So people just kind of like it was just me. You feel me? Like I think people just kind of.
Yeah.
But
Here, one second. I'm just trying to double check this is recording. And then here, I'll just ask you another question while I'm checking this. So, do you remember the kind of first song which blew you up a little bit in terms of like you started to get real attention and real exposure, and what was that experience like?
yeah, I definitely do. One of my first songs that got a lot of just plays and shit was a remix I did to Janae Aiko's "The Worst," and
Okay.
I put it on SoundCloud. It's this was my junior year. I was making music before, but yeah, I just remixed that song and I put like just a rap on it. I didn't do like the hook or nothing like or whatever. Like I didn't re-sing the hook. I did replay the hook. Like I had her hook coming, but
Okay.
yeah, I just did like a dope little rap, like kind of like a storytelling rap, and like all the girls and shit. Like I played it like the pep, like not the pep rally, but like some like we were all in. There was like some kind of I don't know what you call it right now, but like everybody was in the gym and shit, and there were speakers, but it wasn't like hella people, but it was like the people that run the event or whatever, and like I just showed it to them, and then they kind of like fucked with it and showed it to other people and shit.
Uh-huh.
It kind of just got like caught attention and shit, and I was just posting it on my Instagram, and so that was like the first song, and it they had like 1,000 plays and shit, and that was like it took like a month, and then after that, and I had recorded that in my own studio. I had like a little home setup, and then
Yeah.
after that, kind of just started taking shit more serious, and my cousin Felipe, who's not my real cousin, but I call him
Hmm.
cousin.
Yeah.
He was like before my sister's friend, so he linked me with the studio in Richmond, called Legacy Studio.
Hmm.
Um, I hit him up and booked. I started booking sessions, and then I had put. I did two songs called one called Real Love and one called Let Me Breathe, which I think is still on my SoundCloud. I don't know. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then those kind of started getting more plays too, and that
So
was
from the beginning, it kind of sounds like, at least from what I'm hearing now, it's like you had good connections, but a lot of it was you just kind of putting yourself out there, making connections, and then really just working on your own to, like, obviously you produce your own stuff, which I think in itself is pretty special because you kind of have a, I don't know, there's something when people produce their own stuff, they understand their beat, their stuff in a special way. And
Mhm.
I it's almost like a respect for their own creation, their own beat. Whereas I feel like people who don't do that and they just start rapping, they don't have that same understanding.
Thank you.
So let's just jump into Cold Feelings then, which
Mm-hmm.
you released about 10 days ago, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just give you kind of my take on the album in terms of what I thought it was about. So I got a vibe of it was about kind of love and betrayal and trust. And
Yeah.
although some songs are more about just like money and making it, there's a lot of in every song a little bit of like this girl, she wouldn't trust me and now I can't give her that love I have. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was pretty cool because you were able to mix a lot of upbeat like sounds with sometimes sadder stuff. Can you tell me what was going through your mind when you were making the album, when you titled it Cold Feelings, that sort of thing?
Yeah, man. Definitely. The inspiration behind that album is really just kind of like the past 2 years of just navigating through the music industry and just like being myself and trying to stay as genuine and pure as possible and just dating women and shit and just girls that I've kind of connected with that you fall for or whatever
Uh-huh.
and it might not just work out and in particular I was inspired by one particular girl I was dating um, recently, and like just falling in love with her, like just more for the looks and shit.
Mhm.
Also like the personality too, and she has so much potential. I felt like, but she was just kind of just misguided and kind of
Mhm.
more into the negative things. Like I could see that there was no drive in her. Like
Yeah.
there was no motivation. So I wrote a lot from that perspective of just seeing her battle with that. I'm like, damn, you have so much potential, and like we could be a dope ass couple, and
Mhm.
and just build and get our shit. Like I remember when I was
Here,
dating her, like,
just to interject quickly, sorry, I just have a question. So
mhm,
when you said it initially, you talked about both the music industry and like girls dating girls and stuff.
mhm.
When you say the music industry, is it looking at something that's maybe like glorified and glamorized, and then realizing, hey, like it's like all love on the outside, but when you really get into the inner workings of the music industry, it can become kind of tough and it's not like as easy as people make it seem.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot to this shit, man. Like fucking, like you just never know where you are with people. Like not everybody, but there's just people that that um I have to be vague too because I can't say names.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Uh, but there are just people that it just it just like damn, um, you you can't win. You can't,
Uh-huh.
you show love, and sometimes by leaving that open, um, you're vulnerable, and it could be a time where they don't need your support or not necessarily need your support, but you support them when they need it, and then when they don't need it, they don't support you or even keep contact with you or just
Okay.
like that. Like, and it's kind of me being hurt by that because it's like, damn, I fuck with you and been fucking with you, and for our relationship to not still be there, it's kind of like it's a pain in that because when you really fuck with somebody, it's like it's just like damn, you feel me? And
Hmm.
and it almost leaves a bad taste because it's like you don't want to feel that way. You don't want to be
Hmm.
like almost like um it causes like envy and shit too. Like damn, like this person is fucking winning right now. I'm not, you know.
So it's part of that people making it big and not kind of coming back to their roots and who helped me start this journey and that sort of thing.
Yeah, because we all like a lot of people that I've fucked with, we've all been doing it together. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like just navigating through the bay before, like, 3 years ago, 4 years ago and shit. And then it just feels like there's no love. Like the music is I like how it's being taken serious, but I like the unity and shit. And which is why I even with this tape, this is my second tape. and I chose to collaborate more because I want to show people that we can work together and be
Hmm.
artists and just make good music. And I was very selective over who I put on this tape, um, for a reason. You know, I had homies that sent me verses and shit, and I just wanted to. I really tried to curate this one. My first tape was just all no features. Just
Yeah.
so that. So.
I thought that was interesting about your talking about your selection, and then we'll get back to the girl you were talking about earlier. Selection with the features was kind of interesting because you didn't just try and like reach out to the biggest artists. You work with people who were local, like
Mhm,
close to Berkeley, whatever. And
mhm.
then, and even if they weren't didn't have the biggest following and stuff like that. And then you also worked with bigger artists. So I thought it was kind of cool how you had that different ranges where you worked with smaller artists and then bigger artists like Pimp Toby, I Am Sue, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Is that something you were thinking about when you were making it, like trying to
Definitely.
give back to people who had supported you as well?
Yeah, but also I don't even. I never really cared about that. Like I've
Uh-huh.
never really cared about like it.
So really just about the music then.
It's really about the music. Like an artist on there, Kira Shea. I fuck with her super tough. Like she's so talented, and I feel like she's gonna blow, and I support her 100%. So that's why I put her on my tape, and I feel like we made a good song, and I just feel like it's dope. And it's at the end of the day, it's history. Like if you look back at Kendrick Lamar shit, like his
Uh-huh.
old shit, like he just fucked with like whoever at the time, like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like just made what he thought was good music. And I kind of modeled my career after watching that and shit, and just watching other artists how they navigate and shit, and just I just want to
So
make good music at the end of
just
the
make good sounding music. All right. Going back to the story you were just about to get into. So you said a lot of that, the rest of the album, or a lot of it was also inspired by just dating different girls, that sort of thing. You want to
day.
just go on, take off from where you were going?
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty much just like inspired by the the industry thing and dating girls and a specific girl
Yeah.
that just was into more like street shit almost, but she wasn't from the streets. You feel me? Like I
Hmm.
see a lot of that happening, like where girls that are from the suburbs or whatever
Hmm.
that gravitate towards like just straight hood guys. You feel me? I don't want to curse the show. But
Yeah.
yeah, like that kind of vibe, and I'm not that. You feel me? Like that's not.
Hmm.
I know people like that, and I'm surrounded by people like that, but I don't fully. I'm not. I'm never. I wasn't raised like that. Like I'm more
Uh-huh.
of. I was raised by women and shit. Like but um, but yeah, it just. I'm just different, but
Uh-huh.
seeing that kind of inspired the album and shit, 'cause that happened recently, like last year. Um, so
Okay, and just to clarify, I'm 99% sure of this, but just want to make sure. So all this is produced by yourself, right?
yes, about
Okay.
95% of it is produced by me. Only track that has help is my friend Ari produced "Don't Push Me Away," which I think is track number 5 or something.
Uh-huh.
He
Okay.
did like our loop and shit.
So how long did it take you to do all this, the production and then also recording and all that? How long did it take for this album?
Um, I was literally scrambling like the last day. I got I Am Sue's verse back like 2 days before it came out. Type shit.
Okay.
But when I started it, I'd probably say uh definitely recently, like probably right before probably July, really. I mean, honestly, like
Mhm.
I just moved to Georgia and shit, so but when I really knew about the project and shit, because I just put out my first mixtape like months before that, like 2 months before that. So
Yeah.
October, really October was kind of where when I knew like, okay,
Uh-huh.
cold feelings. I was trying to get it out December, but it was like I had to hold it, and I'm actually glad I did because it came out way more locked in.
Okay. And then what are your favorite songs on the album? Do any stand out to you or anything like that?
My favorite songs on the album. Let's see. I honestly I love all of them, but
You love all of them?
let's see, fuck,
Here, if you want to think about it, I got some that I liked just in general. There's three. There's obviously more that I enjoyed, but my three favorite were I Got It because I really enjoyed the beat.
yeah,
And then it was really upbeat, and I liked the way you used the auto tune in that track. It wasn't like the whole thing, but you chose your moments to use it and moments not to. So I
hmm
thought that was dope.
thank
I
you,
like Straight to the Money. I thought it was like it was a chill vibe. The lyrics were cool. It was dope. And then All I Ever Wanted, I just enjoyed in general.
thank you.
So yeah. And then going into that, I wanted to have you just talk about each song just a little bit. I just chose specific parts of those songs that I thought would be interesting to talk about. And then this is when I'll play stuff in the background for people to hear as well.
Okay.
Um, After I edit. So for I Got It, you talk about a lot about coming up and being successful from a young age. And then you talk about you want millions in the bank, trying to wake up rich, that sort of thing.
hmm
Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Because you obviously had this, I guess, idea of where you want to be. Like,
hmm
where do you want to see yourself in 5 years?
Where do I see myself in 5 years?
Yeah.
That's a great question, and I definitely will say, um, probably I'll probably be somewhere either in Atlanta or I'll be going back and forth between Atlanta and LA,
Mhm.
and traveling and shit. Um, but then I want a big following.
Okay.
Like
So
or
fame is a thing for you in terms of that, or like,
music,
because
fans.
the thing is, which is interesting, right, is a lot of people had this debate. I was actually going to bring this up in a little bit, but a lot of people had the debate like, hey, would you rather have money or fame? And a lot of people would say, oh, I don't care about the fame at all, but you actually want to have the kind of following and support
Yeah,
when you're making your music, obviously, right?
yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, I want to be heard. Um,
Uh-huh.
you know, and all the everything comes with that.
Hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, I would love to fucking win the lottery or some shit, but that's not gonna make me happy. You feel me? Like I'll probably end up,
Yeah.
you know,
So it's a lot about just leaving a legacy a little bit behind too,
yeah,
and having people who enjoy your music, not
definitely,
just in the short term, but in for a long over a long period of time.
yeah, definitely. I tell people all the time, let's make history. I want to leave things behind for my future kids, my friends' kids in the future. Just I just want to leave that behind. I want people to talk about this 10 years from now, 20 years
Uh-huh.
from now. I want to make a documentary. I want to be in a movie.
Yeah.
Everything I see a big vision for myself, and I definitely want to produce music for TV shows, kids TV
Uh-huh.
shows. I want to be involved in a lot of different projects that impact the next generation.
So in 5 years from now, you see yourself like also doing stuff like going on tour, that sort of thing, and
Yes,
for sure.
making a living off the music. That's what I
Okay.
see for myself, and also getting into movies and shit and acting.
Okay.
That's why I don't have that many tattoos. I only have one tattoo.
All right. And then also in that song, a little quotation has, "I want to get stamps in my passport." So where do you want to travel?
I've always wanted to go to Paris.
Uh huh.
Um, when I graduated high school, my grandma offered me a ticket to Paris, like a paid for trip. She was gonna pay for it with her credit. I
Hmm.
said, and I let that sink in for like 2 weeks, and I thought about it, and I told my grandma, I said, Grand, um, I can't go to Paris. I gotta get me a laptop. I
Hmm.
had to get me a MacBook and invest in my music and get my studio going because I don't want to go to Paris, come back broke, and not have nothing, and not have my
Yeah.
laptop that I want that's gonna help me make these beats and get my music going and shit. So she agreed and got me my first MacBook and before that I had my mom's old PC and it was just so slow and it eventually kind of like started falling apart and shit. So
Okay.
chose to invest.
Why do you have like a reason for Paris or anything else?
The Eiffel Tower, just a new culture. Um,
Okay.
I like the fashion, so when I go there, I definitely want to fuck with that. My dude, and now I know people that live out there now. Like my
Mhm.
friend Miza, he lives out there. Like and he's going back and forth and shit, and going to little parties and shit. He's
Mhm.
one of my friends. So
And then, did you have anything that you were thinking about when you wrote "I Got It"? Was there anything that you had in the back of your mind, like, "Hey, I want to get this out in this song"?
yeah, definitely. That song comes from a place of pain. You know, just wanting to make it and just fucking show everybody like, damn, you know, this is where I'm at right now. This is how I feel, and I fucking want millions in the bank, trying to wake up rich. I don't want to stress about
Mhm.
shit. So
So, like, beating the industry in a way, like making it to the top.
yeah, because it's a lot of pain and just being an artist and trying to make it and trying to be heard and just feeling slept on. That's
Hmm.
it's a lot of pain in that, and I wake up every day and I think about how I'm gonna get it. You feel me? So
Hmm.
that's kind of where that song touches.
All right, and then the other song I had that I wanted to talk about specifically was "All I Ever Wanted."
Hmm.
So, the chorus is "All I ever wanted is your love," right? But
Hmm.
then you have a specific line where you say, I want your, all I want is your trust and love from you." So in that line, you talk about trust. Do you think in order to get, like, after these relationships you've talked about having, do you think in order to give someone your love now, you need that kind of trust from them, that they trust you and they're someone, I guess, they see your future with?
Can you try to reword just so
Yeah, sorry about that. So,
all good?
um, I guess this is a deeper question. It's
Hmm.
difficult to phrase. I would say, let me try phrasing it this way. Like, do you think in order for you to love, like, what do you think is the connection between trust and love? Because I felt like you kind of talked about it on that track a little bit.
Hmm. Well, love is a feeling and trust is safety.
Uh huh.
So really, I'd rather, I can't say I'd rather, because sometimes when you say I'd rather, you get it and then you don't. You rather do the opposite. So, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I just feel like they come with each other. I have to, if for me to be in a relationship, I have to be attracted to you. I have to love your personality, but then also I have to be able to trust you. I gotta trust you. You're not gonna cheat on me. I gotta trust that you're gonna fucking have my best interest. So that's
Hmm.
really where that song comes from, and
So trust that that person won't betray you in a way.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Um, and then, I mean, other tracks I just enjoyed were, I guess there was, oh, I liked Arcade a lot. I liked how you did the beginning of that song.
Thank
I thought that was cool. Is there, so I don't know if you're able to think about this while I was asking you some questions. Is there any songs that stand out to you, or not really? You just kind of feel like the same about all of them, or not the same,
you.
obviously, because you feel differently about each song. But is there any song you favor, or not really?
Um, so I got a question for you for Arcade particularly.
Uh
What
huh.
does that song? What message or what kind of vibe do you get from that song? Is there anything that it makes you think about?
Well, so when I was listening to Arcade, um, I thought the message with that one, it was, although you say it at the kid or whoever says it at the beginning, "Don't play with my heart, baby." I
Hmm.
thought that throughout you use this kind of analogy, I guess, about how you don't want someone in your relationship kind of playing with you, messing around,
Hmm.
um, like just being upfront. I think it was more being
Yeah,
upfront with you, like be
definitely.
honest and that kind of trust. So that's what I got from that song.
Yeah, definitely. Cause the Arcade is really just like what my inspiration, or not my inspiration, but what I was going for and the vision that I have for it was basically like the arcade is like the stage when you're talking to a girl and you're in the arcade, but you don't want to be in the arcade because you want it to be defined. You want to be like, okay, I'm rocking with you, or I'm not rocking with you. I want to move
Okay.
on. I want to leave the arcade. So the whole point is to leave the arcade. But basically, it's kind of more like, all right. So in the beginning, I'm in the arcade, and in the middle, I'm not in it. But then shit goes left, and it
Uh-huh.
comes back to the arcade. So kind of
That's
more
dope.
like but songs that I like or songs that I love, three songs. Um, let me see.
I mean, if you don't have like any three that you love more than the other, if you would just have one that you like and if you wanna even just break down Cold Feelings for me, whatever you wanna do, it's up
Okay,
to you.
let's see. I could definitely tell you um my three favorites. I definitely have to say Rockstar. Um, um, I'm gonna definitely say the last one. What you're gonna do is one of my favorites. I listen to that a lot.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I actually just listened to that before I got on. I had listened to it before, but this time when I sat down and listened to it, there's a lot of meaning with that one. Like it's very deep, especially at the beginning, which
Mhm.
I thought was really cool because it was just different than the other ones. It was a little darker.
Mhm.
Um, Another one I liked was is it on here? I thought 1 a.m. was an interesting concept too.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool as well.
How so?
Well, I just thought the idea of the way you stage it, where you're up at night thinking, and then, because I think everyone's had those kind of things where they're up late and they're thinking about someone else and they're thinking about, hey, how I guess this relationship is going. I thought that was although like it wasn't like super complicated or complex, it was a cool idea that I think you kind of just ran with, and
Yeah.
the production was good on that as well.
That song came last minute. Like like I was just it was late at night and I was just vibing and I kind of just like I think I had did like the hook for it like probably like a month before, but I had opened it back up and I kind of
Hmm.
just found the session on accident and like started just vibing when I'm like this song is pretty dope like to put on the album because I felt like it made sense for the theme and then I kind of just put together the lyrics and shit in my head and kind of just and then I remember after I finished recording I'm like, oh, this shit makes sense now, like, you
Yeah.
feel me? And I just listened to it at night. I remember I listened to the song at 1 in the morning, like the
Hmm.
next day or some shit, and I'm like, this shit is a vibe, you feel me?
Yeah.
So I had put it on there.
All right. And then I have some other questions. At the end, I'll have you plug all your stuff, Cold Feelings, all that.
Mhm.
But my next question would be on your page. It says you've collabed with YB and Namir, Lil Mosey, I Am Sue, Pimp Toby, etc. Who are you looking to collab with in the future? Is there anyone you have in mind?
um let's see, yeah, a lot of people, Pharrell, um Timberland, um sorry, I gotta grab my charger.
No,
It's
that's
my
good.
computer gonna die. Artist wise, um, I'm open to collab with a lot of people. There's a lot of dope people.
Uh-huh.
Off the top of my head, oh, Kendrick Lamar,
Kendrick
uh,
Lamar.
Big Sean. Let's see. Who am I fucking with?
It
Uh,
was interesting that you said Pharrell, because I mean, I would say your style is similar.
yeah,
You're a little different. But like I'd say you guys kind of have a similar style, so that would actually be an interesting collab there.
yeah, definitely. Pharrell's the goat. Um, yeah, fuck. Oh, Rick Ross.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's a lot of people. J. Cole, cause I fucking went to school in North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
So that would be dope.
Uh, So anyone that's really just willing to sit down and just make really good music with you.
Yeah, I want to fuck with the old cats too. Like I want to
Uh-huh.
fuck with people that I grew up listening to, like in high school and shit.
Okay. All right. And then I guess next would be I guess we could talk a little bit about, because you sell your beats online, right?
Somewhat. I'm
You have your own website going, right?
at the moment, yes, sir.
Okay. So I think something that's interesting, and I've seen you do on Instagram before, is you're always stressing the fair compensation on the behalf of producers. why do you advocate so strongly for that? Is there like a personal story to that, or do you think you just don't like it when people try and, I guess, take advantage of producers in a way?
Yeah, I mean, because everybody has to eat.
Yeah.
I just it's just more of a more artists should know how to understand, you know, that
Uh-huh.
it's important to pay people who are investing in their craft. I've spent over $10,000 on studio equipment alone within the last couple of years.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, I'm not gonna get paid if I do shit for free all the time,
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just
Yeah.
really
Do you get a lot of people trying to get stuff from you for free like that, or is that a regular thing or not really?
not really. Even
But
if you ask, I'm just gonna tell them I charge.
but I guess what happens a lot is people are like, "Hey, let me work with you because I'll get your name out there, whatever," right? Does that happen a lot?
Nah.
Nah. So
I
it's
mean,
pretty.
if they approach me like that, then that's I'm not even gonna do business with them.
Yeah, that makes sense. You have to be able to be compensated for your work, obviously, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you have to make money in order to make it. So,
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, mhm.
all right. So on your website, you have some stuff. I think you had some drum kits, melody packs, that sort of thing. Is
Mhm.
that stuff you'd be? Why did you decide to do that sort of thing?
Mm, I just felt like it was necessary.
Uh huh.
I felt like I want, Lex Luger made a kit, and fucking people still use it to this day,
Uh huh.
later on. So I just feel like it was just necessary. I might not have my beat website up too much longer though, because I kind of want to be more exclusive.
Okay. So just be able to work with certain people only is what you're saying?
Yeah, because
Okay.
that just being more exclusive just helps rise your stock. You know,
Okay. All
if
right.
he has
Cool.
access to you, then it's not as valuable. If I'm sending out beats to everybody, giving away beats from everybody, they're not gonna value my shit. It's gonna be 2 cents.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Cause like
Yeah.
if everyone's using a similar type of beat or just your beats in general, if the just general people are using it, then like higher end, I guess, artists will not be as willing because it's already stuff similar to that's already out there. Is that
Yeah.
sort of thing?
Plus, I don't want to oversaturate because that's how you get played out.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And then I guess what's next for you in 2019? What's your next move? Are you gonna be releasing more music, just
Def-
production, that sort of thing?
Definitely, I'm gonna do a lot. I'm doing a lot of production. Doing a lot of production. I'm working with Little Mosey. I'm about to go. He's about to pull up to Atlanta in April. So I'm gonna cook up on his tour bus, vibe out with him, and then I'm gonna go to when he goes back to LA. I'm gonna fly out to LA and make some more beats with him and shit. There, I'm probably stay like a week
That's
and just
dope.
lock in with him and shit.
You
Trying to.
think you think you're gonna be releasing any more albums or anything in 2019, or you don't know yet, really?
I don't know. I definitely plan to release another either mixtape or album. I kind of want it to
Uh
be
huh.
more of an album. It just depends on where I'm at with it, cause I want to get like Rich the Kid on it and other people on it and shit. So it might take a longer. It might be a longer process. Plus, I want to get it like I mix and master this Cold Feelings album, so I did
Yeah.
all that. But I want to have other people do it, just so it's just different, like more professional and shit, and I don't have to worry
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, because it's for sure that's so much work to do all that.
Oh yeah,
Like that must have, as you said, it took a long time as it is, and then, I mean, to be able to have to worry about just the production side and then finding lyrics and all that, and also it's good to get different people in because it'll make you think differently creatively as well.
yeah. Plus, I don't want other people's jobs. You feel me? I just do it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then I guess, is there anything else you want to do in 2019 in terms of, are you looking to travel anywhere, anything like that?
Definitely. I definitely want to go to New York. So all the music people in New York tap in with me. I know some
Uh-huh.
too. New York. I want to go to Miami this year, which I'm probably gonna go this summer, cause I live like fucking a 20-minute flight from it. Uh, I definitely. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to go overseas this year. So I
Uh-huh.
probably won't go overseas this year, but I definitely got my passport. I just got my passport. So that's cool in case somebody fucking calls me on a tour or some shit.
Uh-huh.
That's really why you gotta get all you young kids out there, get your passports early now, cause you never know what opportunity you're gonna get. So have that ready to go. So if
Uh-huh.
they say, "Hey, we going to Europe in 1 week. Come on, go."
Yeah.
You'll be like,
Um,
"Ah, fuck, but I gotta get my passport."
and then I guess my last question would be, well, how come you moved out to Atlanta? Because I know you had been in Berkeley for a while. Why did you decide to move out to Atlanta?
Two reasons. One because my family was moving, and I still stay with my family, and I love my family, and I don't want to live on my own because that's just too much right now. And
Uh-huh.
two, it's a new scene. So I thought I would just try it. Every time I move somewhere new, I find a little deeper focus in myself. I probably wouldn't even have put out Cold Feelings if I never moved, and just
Uh-huh.
made an album and shit. And so it's more of a deeper understanding
Yeah, so
of
it wasn't necessarily just about the music or anything like that. It was just
it was. It
it
was.
was it was partially about music when you moved to?
Yeah, because Atlanta's like the Mecca, bro. Like
Yeah.
for rap and shit, like that's where, fucking Metro Boomin got to start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if he stayed in St. Louis his whole fucking life,
He wouldn't have
he would
that.
not be Metro
No.
Boomin today. He'll tell
No, he
you
would
that.
not.
So it's just about those connections because there's a lot of pop people out here. Like
Hmm.
shout out to my boy 48. He's one of Young Thug's producers and he's worked with a lot of like that Gunna and all them and
Uh-huh.
I
So just a mix of family and then also networking, that sort of thing.
yeah, networking and just building relationships and shit. Which I haven't even really got the chance to really do that much yet
Hmm.
because I just locked in on the beats and making my album and shit. So I got
Yeah.
more time to do that now. Yeah, it's a new scene, but honestly, you don't want to stay in home too long because
Yeah.
you'll only know that circle of people, which is fine.
You
But
have to get your name out there more.
yeah, you got to travel, especially if you want to be an artist. You got to go everywhere. You got to
For
go to
sure.
all the music events. If it's your field, you got to go.
Hmm.
Like I might go to South by South this year or something, depending on what time it fucking comes. If it's not
Uh-huh.
inconvenient for me, but um, you just gotta go. You gotta travel, meet people, cause you never know. Like fucking G Easy, he went to school in New Orleans,
Yeah.
and then he got on tour with Lil Wayne and shit.
Yeah. Because he didn't really blow up or get huge
Not
until he was already out of the Bay and he
yeah.
was doing stuff in other places.
Same with Kaylani. Like
Yeah.
she's from the Bay, but she started going to LA and
Yeah.
started going to New York and shit. Meeting Nick Cannon, shit like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just about networking, knowing the right
Hmm.
people, but the right people have to know you. I always tell people it's not about knowing people. It's about them knowing you. And
Hmm.
them fucking with you because and also just having a real relationship with people too because you know you should never want to just if you meet somebody just only hit them up for what they could do for you. It's really just like have lunch, like do shit outside of music or whatever
For
because that
sure.
and it makes things more comfortable and shit too. But handle
Hmm.
your business though at all times. But
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm just about to do my outro. But if you want to like plug anything, I can put it down in the description as well in terms of your album and that's Instagram, whatever you want to do.
okay, yeah, I mean my Instagram and my Twitter is Apollo underscore Jetson. SoundCloud Apollo Jetson. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Apollo Jetson. YouTube, Apollo Jetson TV. Subscribe to my YouTube definitely,
Uh-huh.
'cause I want to start dropping more music videos directly on my channel instead of
So,
other platforms.
hmm. All right.
Look,
Well,
new music mixtape. I can't give away the name,
yeah.
uh, but I definitely might be dropping another mixtape and some more singles and shit. I'm gonna be making more beats. If you need beats, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, dope interview, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you to Apollo for coming on. As he said, his new album, Cold Feelings, is out on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff. So make sure to check it out. Also, make sure to go follow me on Instagram at the Fergie Time Podcast. DM me if you're interested in coming on the podcast. I really look forward to doing more interviews like this and just talk about sports, music, etc. in the future. So make sure to hit me up and take it easy, guys. Peace.
Peace.